Good evening. You're watching The Last Word with me, Tanima Biswas, and our big focus tonight is on the big political story, which is the Maharashtra MLC polls. Now, that's touted as the semi-final polls in the state, and the results have come in. They have shown that it is the NDA bloc, the Mahayuti, which has come out on top. Let me just take you through the results quickly. All 9 NDA candidates have won. BJP has won all 5 seats. Shiv Sena's won the 2 seats. The Shinde faction, of course, won the 2 seats they contested in, and NCP has also done the same, won the 2 seats that they contested in. MVA, on the other hand, had fielded 3 candidates. Congress candidate has won. UBT Sena candidate, the surprise candidate which was fielded at the last minute by Uddhav Thackeray, Milind Narvekar, has also won. But in a big setback to the Sharad Pawar faction of NCP, the candidate they were backing, they did not have someone from their own party, but Jayant Patil of the Peasants and Workers Party, that Sharad faction was supporting, he has lost. So what does this mean months ahead of the Maharashtra Assembly elections? Did cross-voting let down MVA? We'll get into an in-depth discussion with a panel of experts that we have lined up, as well as my reporter Radhika, who is joining us in just a short while from now with the latest. But first, let's take a look at the top reactions coming in on this story.
5 विधायकों ने हमें सपोर्ट किया है, उनका मैं शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूं और धन्यवाद भी देना चाहता हूं और सबका अभिनंदन करना चाहता हूं। चुनाव जब रहता है तो एलिगेशन होते हैं, एलिगेशन के बारे में मैं ज़्यादा नहीं सोचता, अपना काम करने का, विकास करने का और विकास के रास्ते से आगे जाने का।
निश्चित रूप से महायुति की हमारी 9 की 9 सीट चुन के आई, नवरत्न हमारे चुनकर आए हैं, बहुत ज्यादा हमें खुशी है। महाविकास आघाड़ी का जो अहंकार ये आसमान पहुंच गया था लोकसभा चुनाव के बाद, वो अहंकार को उनके ही पार्टी के लोगों ने विभीषण बनकर इस रावणी अहंकार को मिटा दिया। अजित दादा के विधायक 20 दिन से वो कह रहे थे कि हमारे संपर्क में है, इनको हिसाब बनाया अजित दादा के विधायकों ने जाके, और ये अपने रहे, इनको लगा कि अजित दादा के विधायक हमारे साथ है, वो आपसे इसलिए बात नहीं कर रहे थे, आपके विधायकों को फोड़ दिया।
चुनाव में हमारे पास खुद के हमारे 15 ही वोट थे, उसके बाद में हमारा कैंडिडेट चुन कर आता है। उससे बड़ी बात क्या है, महाविकास आघाड़ी की जो सहयोग सभी को मिलता है उसका एक परिणाम है।
Right, I'm joined by my colleague Radhika Ramaswamy, who's been tracking all the updates since this morning, and this, of course, is a very interesting result which has come in just ahead of the Maharashtra Assembly elections. Radhika, so of course it's an upset for the MVA, but what are you picking up in terms of your sources? What exactly led to this result for the MVA? There's a lot of buzz about cross-voting, but what do we know about that?
Yes, a lot of buzz about cross-voting, something that, all of us were talking about since morning, that there could be cross-voting. But from which side to which side, that was something that we were unsure of. Yes, a big setback for MVA. Big relief for Mahayuti, which had been facing a lot of backlash post the Lok Sabha election results. There were rumors about Ajit Pawar MLAs wanting to switch sides, and there could be cross-voting from their end. But looks like Ajit Pawar managed to keep his flock together. Entire Mahayuti managed to keep its flock together, which is why the clean sweep of 9 out of 9. But when you look at MVA, Congress seems to have sort of cross-voted. At least that's what the number looks like. It's a secret ballot. We wouldn't really know for sure. But if you look at the numbers, had it not been for cross-voting, perhaps Mahayuti may not have won. Of course, there are independent candidates. There are smaller parties. Even if you divide them, there are neutral parties also. So even if you divide them, perhaps they may not have numbers unless a party had cross-voted. And, when you look at MVA, Congress had surplus numbers, and it should have ideally gone to either Jayant Patil or Milind Narvekar. Milind Narvekar, of course, scraped through and won. Jayant Patil, very, very big setback for him because he was completely dependent on Congress votes. Even Narvekar, for that matter, was depending on Congress votes because they had surplus. The other two did not have surplus. They were short. And they were also, of course, depending on independent candidates. So yes, big setback for MVA. Perhaps it happened because of cross-voting. One wouldn't know, but that's what the number is looking like.
Right.
And big boost for Mahayuti, considering what it faced post Lok Sabha results, and big relief for Ajit Pawar as well. So yes, we'll have to wait and see what happens next, who is going to move to which direction, because Congress MLAs were unhappy over a period of time over what is going on within MVA. So will we see people like Zishan Siddiqui perhaps switching sides, because he was not present in many of the meetings. His father had already switched sides to NCP. So Congress looks like could be unhappy and there could be churn there.
Right. Very interesting actually there. This is an interesting development ahead of the elections, as we were saying, and those and the celebration visuals also coming in from the Mahayuti side. You can see Ajit Pawar there leading his workers there, and these are also, we've been getting lots of shots coming in from the Mahayuti, from the NDA bloc in that sense. Let me introduce my guests at this point. Joining me to discuss this further is Charan Singh Sapra, spokesperson of the Congress, Vishwas Pathak, spokesperson for the BJP, Rohit Chandravarkar, consulting editor of Free Press Journal, Sajid K. Supariwala, leader of Shiv Sena UBT faction, Suzy Ben Shah, spokesperson for the Shinde Sena faction, Mahesh Tapase, and spokesperson of the NCP Sharad Chandra Pawar faction. My first question, actually, I would want to start with Rohit for his analysis on this. What do the results show in terms of where Maharashtra politics stands right now, just months ahead of that crucial assembly elections?
Well, Tanima, great question, because I think your viewers are looking at that only. I mean, that's the exact thing that they want to know. And your correspondent mentioned that, no cross-voting happened, etc. Look, this was the big semi-final, kind of a litmus test between two big elections. The recent Lok Sabha polls in which the Mahayuti received a drubbing, and the future assembly polls on which a lot depends for all the stakeholders, all the parties that are involved. So this was kind of a test of finding out whether some MLAs from Ajit Pawar's group have, second thoughts about staying with Mahayuti. Are they in touch with Sharad Pawar? Because Sharad Pawar openly claimed that, some of Ajit Pawar's MLAs had met his state president, and there were some talks going on, etc. There was a feeling in Vidhan Bhavan, at Vidhan Bhavan in Mumbai, that, these MLAs might cross-vote to show their loyalty on Sharad Pawar's secret instructions, but that has not happened. So the big picture and the indication here is, of course, the Mahavikas Aghadi has, received a setback. It's especially a setback for Sharad Pawar group, and also, a shot in the arm for the NDA alliance or the Mahayuti, because they can be now confident or more confident about the upcoming assembly polls and keeping their flock together. The bites coming from BJP spokesperson or even Chief Minister Eknath Shinde were indicative of, this thing that they want to narrate, that we are together, we are united. And there seem to be some fissures or some disputes within the Mahavikas Aghadi. Uddhav Thackeray fielding a candidate who's his party secretary and personal secretary also, at the last moment, Milind Narvekar, clearly spoilt the game for Mahavikas Aghadi. That is the larger thing. If Uddhav Thackeray had not fielded a candidate, everybody would have won, in the sense that it would have been an unopposed election.
Right.
And Sharad Pawar and everybody, all their candidates would have won. But Uddhav bringing in a candidate spoiled the thing, and Jayant Patil of PWP, not NCP, PWP, Peasants and Workers Party, lost today. He was, backed by Sharad Pawar majorly. He was Sharad Pawar's candidate, though he comes from a small party. So this is definitely a setback for Sharad Pawar, and kind of a shot in the arm for the NDA Mahayuti alliance led by BJP for the upcoming assembly polls. We are very clear. I mean, that's the clear picture that has emerged today. Tanima.
Right. Rohit, thanks so much for that analysis right on top of the show. And that takes me to my first political guest, Mr. Charan Singh Sapra. That question will have to be answered by the Congress now. There's a lot of buzz that cross-voting took place and that the Congress MLAs are involved because your party had the surplus votes. So what is your initial analysis showing to that effect?
No, I don't think so that any cross-voting from Congress party has happened. Let me draw your attention towards the entire election. This is an election in which, the collegium is quite small. And the Mahayuti, which is more popularly known in Maharashtra as a Khoke Sarkar, a Sarkar which has used muscle and money power always, somehow they have succeeded in getting some extra votes. there were smaller parties in Maharashtra. There are smaller parties in Maharashtra like Samajwadi Party, MIM, JSP, RSP, Communist are there. So there are around 11 votes of the smaller parties. And BJP has got 3 more votes than usually what the strength of BJP was. They were having 115, they got 118. Mr. Shinde, he has got 2 surplus votes, and probably the NCP has got 5 votes more than the actual strength of NCP Ajit Pawar. So in a way, there have been 10 votes which they have got more than their strength. There might have been a cross voting definitely because they have got more votes, but it doesn't say that Congress people have cross voted. Yes, definitely there are 2 votes in Congress party, one of Jishan Siddiqui and one of probably Mrs. Godke, as they have, literally they have switched on their loyalties, but on paper they are with Congress party. So I feel from Congress party there is no cross voting. Whatever the surplus vote of Congress,
it sounds like a bit of an admission there, Mr. Sapra.
Sorry, what did you say?
It sounds like a bit of an admission there that you also suspect that these 2 people that you named did not really vote in favor of the MVA.
No. I am not suspecting. I am saying quite confidently that they might not have voted, and because they have already shifted their loyalties. Jishan Siddiqui's father is already with Ajit Pawar. This is the fact which everybody knows. And whatever defection, whatever cross vote has happened, that has happened from the smaller parties. Whatever surplus vote of Congress was there was given to the Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray, and hence Milind Narvekar has won. He got 22 first preferences, and then he got 3 second preferences of Prajna Satav.
Yes.
So that is how he. That is how he came to 24.
Right. Mr. Sapra, please hold your thought. I believe Mr. Sajid Supariwala of the UBT Sena has a point to make. Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Supariwala.
I just want to say one thing. There's no setback as on the channel. A lot of people have been saying from the Mahayuti, which I don't know what Yuti they have. Only thing I would say is, इब्तिदाए इश्क है रोता है क्या आगे आगे देखिए होता है क्या. We are very happy with Milind Narvekar having won the MLC. We are very happy with the Congress candidate having won the MLC. We as Mahavikas Aghadi are united. We do not have any problem with each other, and the best part is that we are not deserting each other. The people who wanted to desert the parties have gone to whatever parties they wanted to. But we are standing strong, and whoever are today with Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, you can see there a natural happiness amongst us that Milind Narvekar ji, I would like to use your channel to congratulate him as well as the Congress candidate. And inshallah, in the coming election, the purple people have already shown the places to all the other opposition of ours that how Mahavikas Aghadi has captured the Lok Sabha election so confidently.
Okay.
Very soon in the coming elections in the Vidhan Sabha, I'm 100% assured and I'm very sure about everything that inshallah we will do much better than the Lok Sabha election and the MLC election which has gone by. We are very confident. We don't have any problem, and I think this is a good start.
Okay.
And I'm very confident about the fact.
All right. Let me, before I go across to Mahesh Tapase, let me bring in from the Mahayuti side, Susi Ben Shah of the Shinde Sena faction. Ma'am, this is an election, of course, it would come as a boost for, the Mahayuti bloc. But this is MLAs voting for this MLC elections. It's not really a people's election in that sense. It's not the people who are voting. So how much emphasis is Mahayuti actually laying on these elections, which is coming, of course, very importantly, just ahead of the assembly elections?
Good evening to all, and congratulations to all the MLC who's won. Again, a false bravado by Mahavikas Aghadi, as usual. False narrative is the only way that they are sustaining.
We are very confident
That's
that we
an
won.
allegation.
Winning is important.
Let her make a point, please. Let her make a point, please.
I've never interrupted, so let me complete. There's enough
See,
of a
there
false
is a
bravado.
smile on my face, and you are so worried about
Let her make her point, Mr. Supariwala. You had your chance. Please, let her make her point. Yes, Susi Ben Shah, go ahead.
See, we went in this election under the leadership of Eknath Shinde, our Honorable Chief Minister. He is an astute politician, managed the entire election with the right numbers. we had 200 of the 247 numbers. He took it upon his shoulders to ensure that everyone communicates with each other and coordinates with each other. As far as the Maha Agadi is concerned, it was bigardi in any case. The minute Mr. Narvekar was fielded as a secretary of, what was his qualification? Maybe a secretary or manager to the Thackeray clan. The
Do you need qualification to become an MLC? Do you need to be a graduate to become an MLC?
Please let her finish her point.
No, this is not fair. The reason that Eknath Shinde could ensure victory of all the 9 Mahayuti candidates, because all of them are grassroots workers, are regional satraps, and has great influence in their regions, against which, at the last minute, to support horse trading, we had one Mr. Milind Narvekar, who is nothing more or less than a secretary or manager of the Thackeray family. The Congress had enough of the autocratic ways of the Thackeray. The Congress, 5 to 6 votes went against the Thackeray. Mr. Narvekar barely scraped through. He didn't have sufficient votes for first preference votes, were not there.
I'm really sorry, I'll have to interrupt you there, but Devendra Fadnavis is addressing
सर्व
right now.
मतदारांचे आभार मानतो की ज्यांनी आमच्या महायुतीवर प्रचंड विश्वास दाखवला आणि आमच्या सगळ्या उमेदवारांना निवडून दिलं. आणि मला विश्वास आहे की ही जी काही सुरुवात झालेली आहे, विधानसभेच्या निवडणुकीत देखील माननीय मोदीजींच्या मार्गदर्शनाखाली पुन्हा एकदा आमची महायुती निवडून
Police are asking me to translate this. So Devendra Fadnavis is right now actually thanking all the voters as in the MLAs, because remember this election happens through the voting that MLAs do. He's saying that all the MLAs have shown confidence in us. This is a new beginning for us in the run up to the assembly polls, and we are very confident that we'll do very well there also.
जनतेकरता 24 तास राबणारा नेता आहे. त्यामुळे निश्चितपणे आमच्या तर महायुतीच्या आमदारांनी त्यांच्यावर विश्वास दाखवलाच, पण इतरही आमदारांनी त्यांच्यावर विश्वास दाखवला. आणि
He's praising Eknath Shinde, saying that Eknath Shinde is a leader who works 24 hours for the people, and all the MLAs have shown trust in his leadership.
आज हम सभी के लिए ये बहुत ही हर्ष की बात है कि हमारे मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथराव शिंदे जी के नेतृत्व में हमारी महायुति की 9 सीटें, 11 में से 9 सीटें विधान परिषद में चुनकर आई है. बीजेपी की 5, शिवसेना की 2, एनसीपी की 2, ऐसी 9 सीटें हमारी चुनकर आई है. और जो लोग ये कह रहे थे कि हमारी सीटें गिराएंगे, उनके भी वोट हमारे उम्मीदवारों को मिले हैं. एक अप्रत्याशित इस प्रकार की जीत आज हमको मिली है और मेरा विश्वास है ये जीत का सिलसिला ऐसा ही जारी रहेगा और आने वाले विधानसभा के चुनाव में प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हम लोग, हमारी महायुति फिर एक बार महाराष्ट्र में सरकार बनाएगी.
शरद पवारांनी 2 दिवसापूर्वी सांगितलं होतं विधान परिषद निवडणुकीमध्ये समजेल आमच्या संपर्कात किती लोक आहेत, त्यांना काय उत्तर द्यायला?
आजचं खरं म्हणजे अधिवेशन हे शेवटचं अधिवेशन होतं या सत्राचं, म्हणजे
last one before the assembly polls.
गेल्या 2 वर्षामध्ये जे महायुतीने केलेलं काम, विकासाचं काम,
The work that Mahayuti has done in the past couple of years,
राज्यामध्ये सर्वांगीण विकास जो झाला या 2 वर्षातलं
work
काम
of development, taking everybody along,
काम जर आपण पाहिलं तर या राज्यातल्या प्रत्येक घटकाला, शेतकऱ्याला, कष्टकऱ्याला,
has yielded result in farmers,
आणि
women,
युवकांना, ज्येष्ठांना,
students,
सगळ्यांनाच या
youngsters,
राज्यामध्ये न्याय
everybody
देण्याचं
has
काम
benefited out of our
आमच्या
work.
सरकारने केलं. आणि आज मी आमच्या सहकारी देवेंद्रजीकडे आहेत, अजितदादा आणि आमच्या सर्व सहकाऱ्यांना मनापासून धन्यवाद.
All my colleagues, Devendra Fadnavis, Ajit Pawar, I want to thank all of them
अभिनंदन करतो. आणि
and congratulate them also.
एक मोठा विजय महायुतीला मिळाला आहे.
This is a big victory for the Mahayuti.
खरं म्हणजे महायुतीच्या 9च्या 9 जागा जिंकणार अशा प्रकारचा विश्वास आम्ही पहिल्या दिवशी व्यक्त
We
केला
were
होता.
confident that we will
परंतु
win
काही लोक
all the 9 seats,
वेगवेगळं
but
काही
some
सांगत
people
होते.
were
परंतु
expressing
त्यांना
doubts.
खऱ्या अर्थाने ज्यांनी सर्व मतदारांना मी मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो.
I
आपल्या
thank all
सर्व
the voters
आमदारांचं
for
मनापासून
supporting
अभिनंदन
us,
करतो.
all the
आणि
MLAs too.
ज्यांनी इतर आमदारांनी देखील आम्हाला मदत केली त्यांचेही मनापासून अभिनंदन करतो. महायुती
Right, so that was of course Devendra Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde there addressing a joint press conference. Let me go across to my remaining guests now. We have very less time, so I want to take them through at least. Vishwas Pathak of the BJP. So there is of course going to be a lot of congratulatory messages now between today and tomorrow, I'm sure. But the fact of the matter is that, as I was mentioning earlier, that this is an MLC election. In the recent Lok Sabha elections, out of the 28 seats, I believe, that BJP contested, you managed to win only 9. So, you know, the status of that situation, I'm sure there's a lot of review work which has been done already by the BJP, but where does the Mahayuti go from here in terms of their preparation for the assembly elections now?
I think
No,
today's
you are right.
results
They
is
have
a
to
big
work hard.
statement from
Was it
Mahayuti.
to me or?
We are very formidable combination and we have won all the 9 seats which we were expecting. Actually, mathematics speaks for itself. There was no need to go for additional candidate by Sharad Pawar group or MVA. But they did that. It is sheer out of their arrogance and overconfidence. The people taught them lesson. Sharad Pawar lost his candidate to whom they have supported. And secondly, whenever there is a preferential vote sharing kind of process is involved, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis is Chanakya of that. Eknath Shinde has asked him to spearhead this whole process, and we won all 9 seats. And I think with this winning track, we are going to face this Vidhan Sabha election as a Mahayuti as a very formidable combination, and we are very confident that we will continue as a government in Maharashtra.
Okay. Mr. Mahesh Tapase, now, you know, I mean, first of all, do you agree with the fact that this is a bit of a setback? And also, more importantly, what are the lessons that your party is taking from this election? You know, as you heard, the opposition party is calling it MVA's arrogance, which led them in. There are also, of course, conjectures whether it was cross-voting that led them down. So according to your initial analysis, what is the lesson that the Sharad Chandra Pawar faction is taking, of the NCP is taking from this election? Mr. Tapase, if you could hear me.
He was not a Sharad Pawar candidate, but is a... Yeah, can you hear me? Is it good?
Yes,
Jayant Patil of the
now I
PWP
can
was
hear
a
you,
candidate
yes.
of the Mahavikas, not of the Sena itself. So definitely his loss is definitely will going to be evaluate why he lost, how he lost, and which constituents have cross-voted against the Mahayuti. But there's no arrogance to say that we were working in overconfidence. The arrogance of the BJP has been shown the door by the electorate in Maharashtra and for the last Lok Sabha election, which just happened a month ago, in the coming month of October. So I'm very certain that the same tempo what was there in Maharashtra Lok Sabha will continue, and this current incumbent will be out of office in no time. So this is the last lot of luck they had, last pot of luck that the Mahayuti had, and whatever strategic management of MLAs that they had to do. What can you talk about a party, political party led by Ajit Pawar, who has got 1 member of parliament and spends 200 crores on image makeover? So, I mean, this itself is a big indication to what could happen behind the curtains.
All right. We are very short of time, but I would want to give the last word with the man I started with, Rohit Chandavarkar. Your quick analysis, a 1-minute analysis of what both blocks need to do now, Mahayuti and MVA.
Something?
I think the big lesson out of this is that they have to stay united. Both sides have to stay united among themselves, alliance partners, and not get into contest with each other. You know, last time in the Lok Sabha polls also, Uddhav Thackeray contested the Sangli seat, if you remember, Lok Sabha seat, and he lost it. I mean, with a bad margin, he lost it. And Congress rebel Vishal Patil fought as an independent, won. And he has again joined the Congress party. This time, fielding Milind Narvekar at the last moment was a surprise that was sprung up, and that resulted in loss. So I think both sides have to understand it. That was mentioned by Eknath Shinde right now, that, staying united and getting into a good seat sharing deal is what will get them success.
Right. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on this show. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, but thank you for your time on this very important political story that we have been covering this evening. But with that, it's a wrap on the show from my side. Keep watching NDTV. Coming up next, Big Fight with Maria Shakil.